Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to my European friends. How is everybody doing? It is Wednesday, Wow, it's already Wednesday. Wednesday, what's today's date? May 14th, 2025. How is everybody doing this morning, this afternoon? And good morning to everybody in the Discord as well. Good morning, Monique. All right, let's see who we got in here today. Koos, you're going to have to help me. I really hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I feel awful. Corey, good morning. How are you? Richie, good morning. Trader Braun, good morning. Miguel, good morning. Todd, good morning to you. All right. Let's see what we got going on today. Joe, good morning to you. All right, so we're looking for... oh, this is going to be annoying. So we're looking for... let me turn this thing on. Vibrate so it doesn't bother us. All right. So the market made a high during the London session, which I took the trade during the London session and wasn't too successful. It was a loser. And established a high and basically fell off a cliff from there. Then it worked its way back up. It grinded its way back up from around 6 o'clock in the morning and made new highs. And if we look at the 1 minute, where it made the new highs right here at around 7:30, it tried to go back up and test it, and it basically failed and went basically straight down. So it tried to do this inverted H pattern here, and it couldn't make it, so that was the reversal. And now we're stuck here. So question is, where are we going? Are we going back up to go test this again? Or are we going to continue to go back down to this area right here at around 21,300? So we've got 2 minutes until our trade is supposed to kick in. And this thing is pushing up. Now, right now we do have a signal to go short. I need price basically below 335. Something like that. And if it stays here, great. However, I'm not crazy about the fact that it's trying to push back up here to the upside. I'm not really seeing any downward momentum. Good morning, Jeremy. So I may be forced to stay out of this one. I don't know. We'll see. See what this bar is going to do. Yeah, this thing looks like it does want to push up. All right. Let's see what we got going on here.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted.
All right, we got 21 seconds. This is going to take a short. I'm really super not happy about it at all. I got to be honest. Especially when this big giant bar on the one is, but let's just see what happens. All right, we got 5 seconds. Let me switch to the 5 minute.
Order
All
submitted.
right, and we're in. In short on this thing, we do have this engulfing bar on the 5. Watch the 1 minute give us some kind of an indication of which way this thing's going to go. Yeah, see, it's kind of stuck in this range here. And if we can't close below 321, this may not live very long. Again, don't forget, when this thing turns 905, the trade automatically closes. We don't let it run beyond. So we've got just a little over 4 minutes to have this thing reach its target or get us stopped out. But like I said, I was not a huge fan of it. But we do need to close below 321. And it's going to go back down and test 317. And we hope it does that and close below there. If it closes below 317, we should be good. But it did fail here twice, so a little bit of a concern. But let's hope it keeps pushing. So in the next 30 seconds, this needs to close. This may actually hit, well, I don't know, we'll see. It's need this bar to close below 318. So now when this bar closes, we should hopefully get a continuation, and this should take us out, hopefully, if it doesn't bounce from here. It's good that we got that close below 318. The 3 minute looks like it does want to push down, which is good. The 5 still wants to push down. Got just a little over 2.5 minutes left. It's funny, this is the exact same thing that happened during the overnight. It got literally 4 ticks, like 1 point from profit, and then reversed on us. And now it got as low as, how low did this go? $12.50, and we need 10, so like a point and 3/4. So it got within a point and 3/4 of this trade. We've got just under 2 minutes. Good morning, Mitch. Got a minute and a half. See, and we're trading inside of this bar's range. So we tried to poke outside and then immediately reclaimed its range. So it didn't want to continue. And all right, so we've got a minute. So this bar doesn't do it and pushes down through. If it doesn't try to take this high, then we'll get out with a little bit of profit, hopefully. Got 25 seconds, so looks like this is going to be hopefully just a partial little profitable trade. And you got 8 seconds. Maybe we see we can get with like $100 out of it. It doesn't even look like that. Let's see.
Order
I
canceled.
got $90 out of it. So after commissions, actually it looks like it ended up at $81.02. So better than a loss. So, all right. Well, we'll still consider this one a win. So, which is good. So, our performance for this trade looks like this now. So, for the last 30 days, including today's trade, we've had a total of 10 trades, 9 winners, 1 loser. Here's what our equity curve looks like. Remember, we had, on Monday, we had that small little loser. And today we basically just kind of washed it. So basically today almost took us to new highs. Almost. We're just $7 shy of new equity highs on our equity curve. So it looks like the 9 o'clock setup seems to be right now the best working one out of the 3 that we have. So we have the 3 a.m., which, to be honest, has really not been good at all. It's been very hit and miss. It's been here. And what's been hurting us is the shorts. I mean, it's really been hurting us a lot. So, you know, right now, it looks like this. So we've taken these losses, and the majority have been coming from the shorts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a change, make this go away. I'm going to change it right now, and I'm going to change it to longs only for the 3 a.m. I'm going to keep the take profit and stop loss the same. Although I probably could lower it. We could lower it a little bit. I'll run some numbers on it later on. I don't want to take up, too much time right now. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can run it while we're let me see. Maybe I'll do that. Let me do this real quick. First of all, let's change this over to longs only. And see what this gives us. So here's longs only. And here's what the equity curve looks like. So we don't have as many trades, but we don't have a whole lot of this up-down stuff. Now, if we change all right, so if we look at the losing trades, like this one, it only went $90 in our favor. This one was a complete loser all the way around. This one, if we drop the take profit a little bit, we would have picked up this trade, but it basically lowers all the profit on all the other ones, right? So just a real quick math, if we had, let's go back to the analysis. So let's say we drop the take profit by, let's see, what are we trading here? One contract. Okay. So I think we had it was at 1 point. So 4 ticks. So if we drop it by 4 ticks, let's call it 5 just to make sure. So actually, it needs to be more than that. Which means we would lose it across the board on the 10 trades. So that would be $500 across the total that we would lose, so the gross profit would drop. Of course, the loss would drop as well. Here, you know what? Let's do that. If we lower the let's take the take profit to 40 ticks. So right now we're at 853 and 1.54 profit factor and 77% almost. So let's remember 850 was the total net profit. So if I drop this thing down to 40 ticks, and let's say we take the loser down to 80. What does that give us? So we have this. So now we're still trading at almost 77%. We still have 10 winning trades. Our equity curve looks a little bit more like this. This is not good. And the reason is because I changed the stop loss. So when we did that, we picked up a couple of back-to-back losers here, which we did not have before. So let's increase our stop back to where it was at 105, and let's see what it does to this. And I'm going to do this one more time, and then I'm going to go back to what we were talking about before. I don't want to spend too much time on doing this because this is not why you guys are hanging out here, is to watch us to optimize a strategy. Unless this is something that, hey, Maya, good morning. Long time no see. How are you? Welcome back. Okay, so here's what happens when we took this thing back up to the 105. So by expanding our stop a little bit. Oh, you guys. Okay, so let's take a. I don't even know how to do a poll on this thing. Well, let's just do this. Do you guys want me to continue? You guys want to watch us trying to figure out the best optimization for this strategy, or do you guys want us to go back to market analysis? Give me a 1 if you want to continue doing the optimization, and a 2 if you want to talk about the market analysis stuff. Okay, so we're pretty much like split. Hey, Phil, good morning. All right, so yeah, we've done enough on the optimization. I'll work on the optimization later on today, and then when we reconvene back again tomorrow, I'll go over what their results were. All right, let's just I'm gonna try to accommodate everybody. So let's go back to the market stuff. All right, so yesterday was a complete anomaly of a day where it was just, you can basically buy it first thing in the morning and then hold for the rest of the day, and it would have been just perfect. Some huge like runs yesterday that were just phenomenal. I think there was 2 or 3 of them that were really good. If we look at the hourly chart, here's yesterday right here. It was like, okay. So, like I said, you could start anywhere, 5 o'clock in the morning, do whatever you want to do. Just buy long and just hold it for the rest of the day. And, you made like 300 points. But when you get into the intraday stuff, then you would pick up some of this stuff along the way, right? Whoops, that's too far back. We're right here. This is yesterday, right here. So, like from the open, at least till lunchtime, it was like a straight up like move, except for this little tiny pullback right here, which was very, very short-lived. And then it just continued going upward until, right after lunch, and then it kind of went sideways a little bit till the market closed. So, yeah, it's nice, but that does not happen every single day. So, and I should have left the, remember the inverted H that I drew on the 1 hour with what I was expecting. I'll leave all this stuff up. Let's go back to the 1 hour again. So right here, at this time frame right here, remember we drew this right here, and we were right at this level right here at 9 o'clock. Okay, this is look at the bottom of the screen. This is 9 o'clock hour. Okay, and then we were expecting this thing either to, remember, go down or do a little one of these and continue to the upside. Okay, so remember I drew that. I should have left it on there from yesterday, but I actually deleted it. So I'll leave this up on the 1 hour, and then we can see that obviously it kept doing what, from 9 o'clock we read this thing correctly and said it was going to go. I wasn't expecting it to go that high. But remember, we had this level here at 21,034, right? And we put a hard break at 21,000, remember? And we said that's what we were going to be testing. So let me draw that line back up. I mean, I took all this stuff off from yesterday. But, so we have this line at 21,000. And then, remember, we said we're going to hopefully come back down, retest, and then continue upward. And then we had, I think we said like by lunchtime, we were expecting price to be, where was it? Like 21,000, I think it was 100, or I can't really remember what. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Maybe this will try to help me draw my memory if I draw Fibonacci on here. So 21,185. I think that's what it was. So we said by lunchtime we should hit 21,185. And remember, we had this line from the broadening formation that we drew from earlier in the week or last week or whenever that was. Okay, so this is on the 1 hour. So if we bring this down to the 15-minute and we kind of take a look at it, you can see how this is the 8:30, right? This is the 8:30 news that we had, CPI. So this would actually have to move over a little bit, like right here, something like that. So it never really did this. It just went straight up, all right? And if we look at the 5-minute for us, here's CPI right here. So once the market opened, this thing kind of tested it a little bit, right? And right before 10 o'clock, this thing just took off and never really looked back. And you can see it hit 21,185 before 10. And we said it was going to do it like by 11, between 11 and 12. You guys remember that? Type a yes in the comment just to make sure that we're kind of recapping from how we read this thing early on and the market did what we were expecting it to do. And all that happened because when we read this thing here, where did my chart go? So when we read this here, when this was forming the inverted H pattern that we had, we were looking for two things. And that's when we jumped into the smaller time frames to see, are we getting a true confirmation of a reversal or are we getting a continuation of the move? Okay. So once we knew that we got a continuation of the move, we immediately put a target up there and that's where we were heading. And right now you can see it's still, hugging this directional line, it's not really a trend, but it's a price directional line that we've got. And we've kind of got this rising wedge, if you would. So ideally what we're looking for is for price, it's actually exhausting a little bit here. So, and this is on the 1 hour. So if we draw a box here, and we look at the smaller time frame for today, we're consolidating inside this box. So if we close below here, then I'm anticipating us to basically head lower for the day, just because we've exhausted it up here. And then if we go back to the 1 hour, what we saw is we're breaking out of this ascending wedge, kind of down here. But we'll see what happens when the market opens. So the Fibonacci from yesterday hit the target. We need to draw a new one off the 1 hour. So if we draw a new fib off the 1 hour, where would we be? So we started it here. We retraced to here, so we'll start it here to here. So this is our, right here, the 21,346, which falls right inside of our zone here. This is off the 1 hour, okay? So if we basically close above here, like 404, like above the 400, then we're going to look to go up to 673. I don't know if it's going to happen for the day, but that's what we're looking for. And if we close down below, then we're looking for a retracement down at least to 21,080. I'd like to see at least a 50% retracement if we're going to continue to the upside. So anywhere between 21,080, 21,020, anywhere in this range, a retracement back to here to take this back long, which again comes back to our inverted H that we had here. And remember we said 21,000 was a really, really strong level where it was support for a while, and then it became resistance. We broke through it, right? The question is, are we going to come back down to test it to confirm this up move? So is it going to come back down and then back up? Don't know. We'll see. Because it did do the up, and now it's consolidating a little bit right here, right? So now we're going to see what happens today if it's going to continue going back up. If we break above 400, or if we close below like 330-ish, something like that, to head to the downside. You guys get that? You guys have any questions about it? Put a Y in the chat so I kind of know that I have at least some of you guys. All right, cool. Okay, so we've got 4 minutes till the market opens. Then we've got our 9:35 trade, which is looking to take a short. Let me get that set up for me. Give me a second, guys. All right, let's run a test order here. Let me turn all this other stuff off. So we don't need that. Don't need this.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right, so the parameters for this morning, I don't think we've changed anything. We'll go over it. We're trading at 45.95. We're trading one contract, and we're looking for a short. That's what we're doing right now. That's what we're looking for. So let me get rid of all this stuff. Go back to our 5-minute chart. Leave everything up so we can see everything. Give us an idea of what's going on.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay. So we've got just over 30 seconds before the market opens. Oh, I did want to run this. This is what I wanted to do, is to kind of see where the performance has been for this. All right, market just opened. And we are heading up. So question is, if we break yesterday's high, which is where I got stung on the overnight because it could not stay above it. So if we stay above yesterday's high and continue to the upside, then we should get some upward momentum, but we are looking for a short. So we'll see what happens. So we are getting this huge up candle here. It's trying to stay above, yesterday's high. And this bar is already 50 points. We got just over 2 minutes. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to close below 345 and a quarter. So right around, literally almost right at the daily high, yesterday's daily high. So if it closes below that, and I'm going short. Otherwise, if it closes above it, I'm not going to have a setup. It's kind of where I'm at for today. Now, something that would be interesting is, I'm not going to do this, but if you want to put this in sim, since we do have this large up candle, and you guys know how I've always said when we have a huge up candle like this, the next candle usually has a tendency to retrace a little bit. So if it continues up like that, especially since we're coming up to this area where we're testing the session high, as soon as, even though I don't have a signal to go short, as soon as this bar closes, do a market short with our ATM and see what happens. Be very curious. We'll kind of watch it. I do expect this thing to pull back a little bit. So I wonder if it's going to be enough. So we've got just under 30 seconds. So we'll have to kind of play it by ear a little bit, and we'll see. So we got, so I'm not going to get a live trade set up, but I'm wondering if my theory holds true. So this bar is going to close in about 7 seconds. And as soon as it closes, I'm expecting this thing to pull back Let's see if it gets enough. So the new bar just opened. We would be in at 395. Expect it to pull back to 385 would give us, let's say like 80, somewhere around 80 would give us profit. So 95, yeah, it's only gone like 8 points. So if this thing comes down, and we're already at 87, if it gets down to 80, then that would have been profit for that trade. There's 87. It got as low as 86 so far. Let's see what the 1 minute tells us. Yeah, see the 1 minute looks like it's still trading inside. So if it breaks above here, 403, it may continue upward. We want this thing to go below 387. Got just under 3 minutes. Let's try to mark this just for fun. So we would have gotten in here at 95. We're looking for a target at 85. There's 84.50. So there's target. So even though it went like 7 points against us a little bit, it's not enough to take us out, and it hit target. So even though it did not have a setup, you guys see that? Did anybody take that in sim just by some coincidence? You did. Okay. Oh, Mitch, you took it? Really? Okay. Not in live, I'm hoping. Or did you take it live? Did anybody take it live? You're afraid you took it in live? Well, here's the thing. It hasn't been thoroughly tested, but we've talked about it, and I've seen it multiple times. But, I mean, it did win, of course, right? And like I said, we were at an area where I was expecting this thing to pull back. It pulled back nicely, definitely gave target. So it wasn't my ideal setup, but based on the market read and what the market was doing, and what we know to be true is when we get this big giant up candle like that, or down candle, for whatever the case may be, the next candle usually retraces a little bit. So glad it worked out for you. Don't know if I would do this on a regular basis unless it was thoroughly tested and we have some data to support it, although we have talked about it and it's pretty much happened time and time again. But anyhow, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this morning. I'll work on those numbers, optimizing it. And so here's the numbers for the morning session, the 9:35 trade. the analysis for it. So we know what we saw for the 9 o'clock, and this is the 9:35. Actually, you don't want to see it here. We'll put it up here. So since the beginning of the month, we've taken 8 trades, won 7, lost 1. Our equity curve looks like this. This is the loser that we had early last week or mid last week. So between this and the 9 o'clock, which are both shorts, by the way, it seems to be pretty nice. I mean, it's a nice, nice little setup. Have to work on the overnight for sure. The 3 a.m. needs a little bit of work, so I will work on that. All right, guys. As always, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. We will see you guys all back here tomorrow. For those of you guys in Discord, we will see you guys in the Discord. And if you can continue trading, then trade well. And we will talk to you guys all later. Have a great rest of the day. Bye now.